Hey YouTube, I had made a video the other day and I was saying that I was going to need to cut some more logs so that I could cut a couple 10-footers out of them that I needed for the roof of my shed. Well, anyway, this is a log here. This log's 18 feet long, so it's 16 inches in diameter, eastern white pine. And for those of you who don't know, I have a little leaf here off of the white pine, and when you pull these off, I'll give you an example here. Like if you look at these, they seem to be, all mushed up, but they're really not. If you separate them and pull off like one leaf, one section that's all together, and you count the needles, you'll find out that there's 5 needles on eastern white pine. I don't know if you can see them there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that small one was broke off 5. That's eastern white pine. Other ones in this area, they have red pine, which only has like 2 or 3 needles, but the eastern white pine has 5 needles on each little leaf furl or whatever they're called. Beautiful log, 16 inches in diameter, like I say. Now, here's the problem. This was the bottom section of the log, right from the base of the tree. You can see where the angle cut was to fell the tree. So this first section I made 12 foot long so that I could get some lumber, and I'll show you that lumber in a second. But the problem was, when I cut the tree down, the bottom of the tree was where my foot is here. You can see that inside the middle of the tree, about a foot up, it was infested with ants. Now there's not going to be any in this tree, I don't believe, because there's no holes anywhere at the ends. But at the bottom of the tree where I cut it to drop it, that's where you could see a little bit of problem with the tree. So actually it's good that the tree was cut down now, because any more of this infestation there that was occurring would have definitely took that tree down in a heavy windstorm, probably in another year or so. So you can see how badly that was. So what happened was, the log was so big at that end, like 16 inches again, that when I cut boards out of it, I'll show you what all I got out of that log. But I lost some of these, so I was cutting around them to get the good wood. And there was a lot of good wood around it. This was basically right in the center. So anyway, this is the flitches off the pine log, eastern white pine. So then this is the spoil that I got, or the good wood. So if you look here, you're looking at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 2x4s 8 foot long. Now you can see this is right at the end of the ant infestation, but the problem is that, or the thing is these get cut off to make 8 footers, or a little longer than that. And then from the different parts of the tree that were even better yet, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 2x4s 12 foot. And then there was a 1x12, 2 1x8s, and 2 1x6s. And then this 1x2 I got out of this. So there'll be more than enough wood here to finish the trusses then, with what I have already cut. So probably tomorrow, I don't know if I'm going to do it on Sunday, but maybe tomorrow I'll work on it a little bit, or at least cut the bottom cord to the truss out of those 2x4s that are 12 foot long, and I can get them nailed together. I think I'm going to use metal plates rather than wood to hold the truss together, although I like using plywood. But anyway, I thought you'd like to see, this is what's left over from the log that really can't be used. I mean, if you were to try and go through here like a little bit at a time, you could probably cut a couple 1x out of this if you really wanted to, but it's not, I don't really need any 1x at the moment, so I'm not really interested in it. But like say this is a 1x3 here, you could easily get a 6-footer out of that. Same thing with this. You get a 6-footer out of that. Other than that, you can see where the flitch started off with giving me, that's about a 6-inch wide piece there, and it ended up at this end. That was the first cut. This one here was about 4 inches there, but the heart was still in the center of the tree. That's just how much the base tapered, or I mean the heart was in the center of the mill. That's just how much it tapered, you know, when it hit the ground, where the root mass was, or the root ball. So anyway, got to get rid of this stuff. I'll probably cut it up a little bit and maybe burn that on the outside pit that I have. The rest of this stuff I might just cut this up and split it and make kindling. I have a thing of kindling here that comes in handy as soon as it dries. Yeah, so anyway, that's what I was doing today, cutting this. The sawmill, or I mean the kiln, was doing really well today because the temperatures were so high. Let me just take a look at this thing. You can see it's still around 80 outside here. And it's, I don't know if you can see that, it's 98 in there with a relative humidity of about 50. Now the relative humidity this morning was up to 70, so what I did was I opened both doors. I left the fans run to circulate that air out of there, because the air outside was actually drier than it was in there. So then it went down to around 35% today, relative humidity, in the kiln. And then I just left the kiln run normally. So you can see there's a little bit of water vapor forming on the inside of this already as it cools. But it's doing a good job. And I like the idea that I'm getting this water vapor in there at nighttime. I think that stops the wood from cracking, because it adds a little moisture to the outside of the wood rather than letting it dry totally from the inside out. Or from the outside in. It's more or less drying from the inside out, because when the wood starts to dry on the outside, it sucks moisture from the inside to it, and that's how you dry it. But what's happening here is, not only is it doing that, it's sucking moisture from the inside of the wood to the outside, but then the outside is getting moisture put back on it, which doesn't go back to the center of the wood, it seems. So I'm kind of liking the way this is working out here. I just hope that that's what I'm saying is what really is taking place. I believe it is. And anyway, another month, or about a month or 3 weeks, this stuff should all be ready to take out of there and use. It was a busy, hot day today. It's 6 o'clock, I believe, on Saturday afternoon. What is it, September 23rd? And it's 80 degrees. That's unseasonably warm right now. I mean, I'm not complaining about the weather, except it's just too warm. Yeah. So this log here, I'm not sure what I want to cut out of that yet. I'm thinking maybe some 2x4s, but I want to think about it, because I might be able to get some nice 1x out of there. I mean, that's, like I say, 16 inches. That should give me about an 11 or 12-inch cant. And it's not, it's pretty straight. I mean, if you look at it, there's a little bend in it, but it's not bad. That sap was something to deal with today. Man, that thing was so, no matter what you touch, it would stick to you. And then when the ants, I mean, when I opened this up, this was packed with ants. These big carpenter ants. So I got a can of Raid in a blue can. That stuff works tremendous. I mean, all that black stuff you see down there is actually ants that are dead. I don't see any crawling anywhere. You can see the... Let's see if I can pick that up. You can see what a lot of them came out there. It's all ants there. Kind of creepy when you're cutting and they're crawling all over the place, but he just kept going with it after I sprayed it, and I pretty much took good care of them. Yeah, there's not very much of the flitch stuff left. You know, compared to like with, well, I guess it's about the same in all the trees. So anyway, guys, it's another day, another couple of $100, I guess that would have probably worth. I didn't bother to figure it out yet. I would say that this log would be graded at a number 2. So that's number 2 pine you're looking at there, because there is knots in it. It's not clear pine, but it's not bad. Like for instance, this 1x2, this could be considered clear. The 2x4s you can see have some knots in them. The 1x have knots in them as well. So it's not clear. I would call it number 2. 2 or better. Yeah. Alright guys, well I'm done for today and I'm gonna rest a little bit. I had Bullseye for a walk just now, so he's ready to go in, I guess. Are you ready to go in? Bullseye, you ready to go in? Probably not. Alright guys, have a good one. Bye.